What's going on, guys? Miami here with JST, and today I am with the infamous Andrew Wade.
Hello.
Know what I'm saying? We're going to be going over some songs, wondering who did it best. Because there's some stuff in pop punk and like metalcore, if you go back and listen to it, they sound oddly similar to other songs. And curious if you caught any of these ones that we're going to go over. For the first song, we're going to actually listen to Into Your Arms by the Maine, because I always thought this was a direct rip of Semisonic, Closing Time.
Let's find out.
I mean, you get the idea there, right? Now we're gonna play Closing Time by Semisonic. Closing time. It's the same key.
The Maine was basically like that. It might be pretty close, but let's just do full band right away. But that's the difference.
Yeah. It's like they started with the piano. Just one more time.
I thought that was Closing Time.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
How is it? They knew, man. The dude facing the left piano silhouette from the side. Like, come on. Somebody knew.
They just ran with that.
Somebody knew.
Or you know what would be really funny is if they didn't know, but the camera guy knew. And or like the
director's
he's like, I got this. I've seen this before.
Or maybe it just came to him. He was like, oh, for some reason I feel like it should look like this. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's first on the list. I guess, let us know what you think about it. For me, that's way too close and way too much of an iconic song to have an intro that similar.
Yeah, I mean, change the tempo or the key or the riff or the something. Like,
you could have just
a little reverse the notes. Right. Or do-da,
Yeah.
low high.
Like switch something up. That's the first one on our list. And today, we're gonna be coming at the Maine again. It's gonna feel like I just got something against the Maine.
No
Andrew didn't actually come up with these, so don't go after him.
No hate towards the Maine. The Maine's great.
The Maine is the only band from that era of music that I still listen to. Next one with the Maine, We All Roll Along. I'm gonna tell you why this one's weird. We All Roll Along by the Maine and Anywhere But Here from Mayday Parade. Now, these came out, I think, within the same year, and they were both on Fearless Records at the time. So that leads to speculation. Did somebody else write these songs? Or write the song and then sell them the same song?
Yeah, maybe there was one writer and it's like, I'll give it to you, and then the other guy's like, oh, I thought you gave it to us. Let's check it out.
Let's check it. First off, I'm gonna play Anywhere But Here from the Maine.
Secret love, my escape. Take me far, far away. Secret love, are you there? Will you answer my prayer?
The Maine.
We're alive and we try to the center of it, where we know we're all fine and this just can't be it.
Dude, it makes me crack up every time.
Yeah,
Like,
it's so close.
Maybe because that one also is like a little slower.
Yeah,
too.
it's like a dramatized version of it. That's another one on there. How these kind of things come up and happen and nobody else notices or no one ever talks about it. I never saw anyone mention this. Those bands were bands that like toured and played together too. And I remember one specific Warped Tour where they were in a parking lot and they were playing with each other, singing on each other's songs. So it was kind of like, I was like, yo, I wonder if they've ever come across this themselves.
They probably have.
Yeah.
I feel like people don't know how aware people usually are in the studio. However, it has happened with A Day to Remember a few times where people are like, oh, you copied. I think there was a Comeback Kid thing that sounded a lot like an A Day to Remember song.
Oh, okay.
But it was something that happened by accident. But when we did listen to both songs, whatever it was like, oh, damn, it sounds like you listened to this and then just ripped it off. But that just didn't happen. So these things can happen by accident.
But it's hardcore.
Or subconsciously.
Dude, hardcore is like, there's so many things that you could literally just do that's the same patterns that go on. Like every hardcore song sounds like every hardcore song, in my opinion.
At the end of the day, I mean, there's only so many patterns you can play. There was a point where I consciously just was like, I'm not writing another breakdown like this anymore. Where it's just like, all right, what set of chugs are we going to put? Are we going to string together? All right, we can do 4 chugs and then 3 chugs, 2. You know what I mean?
It's like dice, but for chugs.
You know, like what?
But A Day to Remember had
like how many different things can you do?
enough. You can do enough because A Day to Remember had the best ones.
You definitely, yeah, but you kind of run out, and I think that's why people are kind of straying away from that because like everything just sounds like, because there were so many bands that were doing those chug patterns where like they were trying to get as creative as they could, but there's only so many sets of, you know, however many chugs you can play in a row.
I mean, I just remember going back and listening to the breakdown patterns, and I remember being like, A Day to Remember did this the best. Like they had the most different ones that happened. The only thing that was familiar.
We did try.
The thing that was familiar though was always the section right before the breakdown was just like paused and just like da 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 da, and then it just a drop.
I mean, people, that shit goes off live.
It did. Here I'm calling out The Devil Wears Prada and Bring Me the Horizon because to me Chelsea Smile and Sassafras from With Roots Above and Branches Below has a similar breakdown pattern. This is the one from Chelsea Smile. Devil Wears Prada.
See, I think that's different enough because there's no 16th notes. This one's just dun 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 dun, you know, something like that. And this one has that like diddly 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 diddly.
You're giving just because of the.
You know what I mean? I mean that's a different pattern.
All right.
And in this genre, those are the defining factors. Like this would be considered more metalcore because it has the faster shit and the kick is following it. Whenever it's like the slower chugs, it might be more hardcore type influenced. Does that make sense?
I get what you're saying. I just remember I was at Warped Tour one year and I was watching these bands back to back. And I remember The Devil Wears Prada was playing Sassafras like right at the end of their set, and I left and they played that and I went straight to Bring Me the Horizon and they opened up with Chelsea Smile and I was like, this is the same thing.
That I was just over there.
Yeah.
And
And
same song.
But you know, that was back in the era when I was like writing songs and I was so focused on breakdowns because everyone was like, all right, our breakdowns, it can't sound like anyone else's breakdown. It's like, so it has to be open.
Do we start with 4 chugs?
Yeah.
Do we start with 2 chugs?
Like like, you know what I'm saying? It has.
Dude, the fucking bell. Why did everybody think the bell was so sick? I did too, though. And then in this gap, I can go ding.
Yo.
Everybody's like, oh yeah, hell yeah. It's like we need a one-liner, we need to start with 2 chugs, and we need a pause with a bell in it. And I have a dedicated bell called an ice bell or the Zill bell.
Yeah,
you remember that?
Yeah, the Zill bell. Yeah,
it would ring for like 10,000 years.
Dude, also,
You hit that thing, it's
remember
just like,
when people were like, yo, I'm gonna mix it up and I'm using a cowbell?
no.
You don't remember
what year? What year is that?
You don't remember cowbell era? Hold on.
There's a cymbal and
What, you gonna say that doesn't count?
that would count.
Okay, so
That would
counts.
count. However, I mean, maybe there are examples of this, but where there's no cymbal, it's just the cowbell. But,
there
but
are-
even still, I don't remember hearing anything like this. What year is this? 1996. Oh,
So
no, it's not that I don't believe you. I just don't. I just don't.
you've
I
never
haven't
heard that. But like the song,
No.
dude, first thing that comes to my mind is every time someone in the comments help me out here. This was
Chat,
like,
is this real?
the year was 2009 to 2011. That was the era.
So I definitely didn't produce any bands that wanted that. It must not have been influential enough for anybody to be like, we need this. But the bell was. Everybody was like, the bell. The
Oh
bell.
yeah, because you could play that bell regardless of whatever was happening.
What is you won't make it out alive? There it is.
Yeah, I remember.
What's funny about this song, a few years ago, somebody sent me a message on Instagram. They're like, hey, did you leave the last chorus of this song untuned on purpose? And I was like, what are you talking about? And I go back, the last song, I didn't copy and paste the tuned version of the vocals. And so what's on the record is the untuned vocals. And I texted Jeremy immediately. I was like, did you know this? Jeremy was like, I have never heard this in my life. And I can't unhear it now. The last chorus, no tuning.
I want to hear it now.
You need to listen to like a tuned one and then the untuned one, and you'll hear what I'm talking about. Crispy clear. That second one, you can hear the intonation.
No, that's crazy. But he also, that's a testament to like how good of a singer he was, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you have the takes where you could get by without tuning the vocal.
Yeah, that blew my mind. When
that's not like
I was like, how has this gone by for so many years? This is the first time someone was like, hey, why'd you do that? You know, people just must have thought it was an artistic choice.
Yeah, it goes to show when a song just like has a good like vibe, you're not even really thinking about that. We get so caught up in the idea of like tuning every little thing that like happens, and sometimes it's like, oh, that was good. So there you have it. A few songs that sounded eerily similar to me. So I guess we're 2 out of 3 because you agree with me on the first 2.
Yeah.
Not the last one. Breakdowns are just, I guess, just breakdowns. And adding 16th notes determines whether it's metalcore and hardcore.
Or hardcore, that's true.
That is the takeaway from this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If there's any that you feel like we missed, make sure to leave it in the comments below. We'll chat with you guys like we always do.